Welcome to Dr. Jester Rants, and I'm gonna rant about this. From Paddle Your Own Canoe. Plus-size model struggling to walk down United Airlines airplane aisle sparks discrimination debate. Look, there's quite a bit in being wrong in being a fat person. I say that because I used to be a land whale as well. Thankfully, and if life doesn't throw me a curveball, I'm definitely left that team permanently. All I need to do is control this. But anyway, being a land whale brings a lot of problems. I used to have back problems. I couldn't stand for way too long, maybe 5 minutes before my back began crying for pain, crying for help because of pain. I couldn't walk for very long distances. I had problems on my knees. I still do. Sometimes I feel like pins and needles on my knees because of the damage I did for being a land whale. I can't kneel for too long without feeling pain on my knees as well. I was kind of knocking on diabetes' door because I was still young, so my youth was still helping me in that regard, but I was definitely knocking on diabetes' door. Today, I still have the side effects of that. Not the diabetes, but I'm talking about the knee problems. And for instance, I still have a lot of skin, so being fat is not a good thing. People trying to normalize it is not a good thing. I understand that there are situations where one can't help. I couldn't help. There's depression and all of those things that can play a role in you being fat. It's not easy to fight it. It's not easy to stop eating. It's eating kills everything, and then you eat and you feel bad, and then you feel bad. Oh, okay, I'm imitating Fat Bastard here from Austin Powers. But either way, at least there's no audible fat in there to interrupt my monologue. But anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, there's various reasons, and yes, I understand you shouldn't feel discriminated once you walk into a store or something like that, but once you begin actually feeling entitled, not only to change language, but also to change places to fit your land whale status, your manatee status, then we start to have problems. Shall we? Yeah. A TikTok user who goes by the name of Peak Corvy Olivia has accused United Airlines of discrimination after she posted a video of a plus-size influencer. I won't call it plus-size influencer, I'll call it ball of lard influencer struggling to squeeze down the airplane on a recent flight due to her size. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem, shall we say, because she was kind of stuck like a big outsized cork trying to fit inside a little hole on a wine bottle. You try to fit in, you try to squeeze in, but it won't go in. It's probably a cork for something else, but in this case, you can actually see the absolute large size of her planet-sized ass. But before I go on, here's a word from my sponsor.
We are 44. We are personified. We are immortal, we are legend, we are God's wrath made manifest, and we know no fear.
Right, so I'm going now to talk about the fatzos. Yeah, it's not that difficult to realize that being fat, yes, it's a problem because things were technically designed to fit a certain size, mostly because of limitation of technology, limitations of, well, of physics and things like that. It's not easy. I am sorry, but it's not easy to change things willy-nilly. You could, for instance, I don't know, in this case, for instance, buy another seat, but it's not going to be easy to change all of that. But let's cover it. Shall we? I'm sorry, but the video is a bit choppy because of some stupid memory hogging program on my computer. So hopefully this won't affect the quality of the video too much. Alright, let's continue. Right. In the video uploaded to TikTok, the woman became stuck as she tried to walk down the aisle and discovered that her hips were wider than the aisle. Yeah, sure. But then moving on with from the virtual signaler here, the woman who posted the video captioned, "Honestly, it's discrimination that they can't build wider aisles in airplanes in 2023. Yeah, there's a very big reason for that. It's because of weight issues. Not only weight issues, but aerodynamics and engine power. An airplane has to carry not only its own weight, it has to carry the fuel, the cargo, and the people. Well, the meat bags. Let's see if you can get the reference for that one. The meat bags inside. So the engine has to be powerful. Not only that, but one engine also has to be capable of carrying all that, plus its own weight and the weight of the other engine, plus the aerodynamic drag of that other engine. Why? Because if an engine fails, you need to have the other one, not only to power the entire electric system of the airplane, considering maybe there is no ram air turbine, but you also need the actual power of that engine to take the plane, turn around, or go to the alternate airport to land safely and save their lives out there. Unless you're actually advocating for, I don't know, maybe you're advocating for, let's see, for people to, well, Minecraft themselves, just so a fatso can go and walk on the aisles comfortably. No, my friends, no. Lives take priority over the comfortability of a fatso. But let's continue, shall we? Because the person who wrote this is a retard. Yeah. Anyway, the woman featured in the video goes by the name of Bobberry VIP on TikTok and hasn't criticized United Airlines, instead preferring to share tips about how to travel as a person of sight. No, as a land whale. Don't use the new vocabulary to describe fat people. Land whales, fatsos, obese, manatees. I am sorry, but that's the fact. But at least, I'm gonna give props to this woman. At least she's not forcing people to change something. At least from what he wrote here. I haven't done the research on her, and I don't give a shit. I am sorry, but I don't have the mental capacity, the will, or the time to do it. Right, let's continue. Perhaps unbeknownst to big curvy Olivia is the fact that rather than get bigger, the width of airplane aisles is increasingly getting tighter as airlines squeeze even more seats on their aircraft. And here it is, folks. This is the bullshit. This is the bullshit that I want to cover mainly on this video. It's a big fat bullshit. No, airlines, despite all of the problems that we have faced with airlines, with people hitting on our seats in the back and other people nagging or bad food or being late or not changing your tickets because they fucked up and they blame the customer and things like that. Safety issues, myriad of issues, but this is one of the things that airlines are not doing. Squeezing in a tighter aisle. There are multiple reasons. First, safety issue. You cannot take away that width from the aisle. If the plane crashes, you need that width for the people to evacuate. Plus, the aerodynamic issues and everything else. What they're squeezing in is taking out leg room. That's the thing. But let not that tiny little problem affect the narrative of this article. But here it is. Why? Why am I saying that? Here's an example that it hasn't changed in like forever. This is fuck myself, the stupid Vivaldi. But anyway, here it is what I'm saying. This is the seating design of a 707 when they still had lounges and things like that on a thin tube liner. Here you can see it was the business area and the first class. And then you have here the economy classes. You can see that they were squeezed in, albeit this one seems to actually have more leg room than this one on the wing section. But either way, you can see it is 3x3, 3x3, 2x2. There is a very big reason for that, because that I showed this airplane, because of the 737, which is still being made today. It follows the fuselage is reminiscent of a 707. A 707 is what? A 50s plane from 1950s and thereabouts. So, if that hasn't changed, why is the narrative, as you can see here, this is a 737 seat, even though the design here looks more like an Airbus, but still, this is a 737. At least it says there, 737-800. But as you can see, 3x3. It hasn't changed. First class, business class, you can see the leg room, and then the economy class. What the airlines have tried to do is squeeze in rows, as in adding more rows to the plane. Instead of having 38 rows, they can have 39 and things like that, or even more, where they can take out the first class, the business class, and all that to squeeze in even more people. What they haven't done is affect the goddamn fucking aisle. That hasn't changed in decades. There's a very big fucking fat reason for that, like I explained before. But don't let that tiny little detail affect the narrative that, but it's the people are affecting. They are trying to squeeze in a lot of people and changing to affect even more. And the fat people can't get a seat. No, you fatso. They haven't changed that. What you have in multiple airplanes, even pictures, you have 2x3. Those are usually executive, business, first class, whatever the airlines decide to call it. That was common on the 707. Let's show this one, because the other one I chose was too low resolution, because it fucking fucking retarded. Anyway, here it is. I'm sorry, the computer decided, Vivaldi decided, for the love of God. See, Vivaldi decided to fuck up with the video again. Hey, Vivaldi, can't you just stop just for a little moment and stop being a nonsense of a fucking retard? I'm trying to work here. Right. I'm sorry once again. It's also, once again, struggling. There you go. Much better. As you can see here, this is a 707. You can see how dated it is. There's no compartment for the luggage or the hand-carrying bags and stuff like that. So if there's turbulence, things would fly around. That's a problem that was sorted recently, adding more weight to the airplane. But this airplane had like 4 engines, and you can see 3 by 3 by 3. This was more of an economy class section. There are some other 707s that you would actually get with a 2 by 3. Why? Those are more business class deals instead of first class. There's a very big difference. So, you lying sack of shit, the person who wrote this. But anyway, let's continue. Where was I? Oh yeah, in this case, the woman whose video was using the now viral meme was filmed struggling to get past United Polaris business class seats. Premium seats are on a growth trajectory, and the new standard for business class seats with the walls and doors to make it difficult for people of size. Not people of size. Just say manatees to comfortably get down the aisle. There's a very good reason for that, because people want privacy. You're on a long flight. We already don't have a Concorde anymore because of fucking hippies and other idiots who actually thought, hey, having such a fast plane going out on the stratosphere is gonna cut the stratosphere and cause problems here down on the earth. Go vegan. Or the amount of fuel that they consume. So people tend to prefer some privacy after spending hours upon hours inside a goddamn fucking tube, flying through oceans of nothing. Right. Late last year, a Brazilian plus-size influencer, once again, a Brazilian manatee, raged against Qatar Airways after the airline refused to let her travel economy class and demanded she pay extra for a premium seat with extra space to accommodate her. Qatar Airways, despite Qatar being pretty much a dream for anti-Semites, but still, they did absolutely right. If you're too fat to sit in one seat, you need the second one, because not only are you invading the privacy, but you are also invading the space of the other passenger. They paid for that seat just like you did. It's not right for you to invade on his seat that he paid, unless you're willing to pay half of his seat. You're not going to do that, are you? Actually, you shouldn't even pay half. You should pay more, because you're going to make the person traveling the other side of the seat of your fatness way worse. The person is probably going to get some pains in his shoulder, back. They are going to get cranky because they can't sleep and all of those things. You are invading property of other people. Well, property, the rent of the seat. But here you are also causing problems for the company, the Qatar Airways. Qatar also is giving you the privilege to fly through them, so they can say what you can or cannot do. God damn it, something went into my eye. Yeah, it's all I needed. Anyway. Qatar Airways had little sympathy for Julian and Emma, and explained in a statement that, quote, anyone who impedes upon the space of a fellow traveler and cannot secure their seatbelts or lower their armrests may be required to purchase an additional seat, both as a safety precaution and for the comfort and safety for all passengers, end quote. Congratulations, Qatar. You did the absolutely right thing. You did not buckle. You did not buckle under pressure from the goddamn fucking fat activists. You need to be able to put your own belt. If you cannot do that, get an extension. But the moment you start making the other person uncomfortable because of your goddamn fucking size, and the person cannot enjoy his seat, then we have a problem. Yeah. Right. Earlier this year, another plus-sized influencer, once again, language, you have to say another manatee or another land whale, another bowl of lard, started a campaign to force airliners to provide larger passengers with 2 seats for no additional fee. You retard. You're traveling. This makes literally no sense. You're costing the airline a seat that another person could be traveling, and you also have to give it for free, that extra seat for one person who's pretty much carrying the weight of 2 people. Now imagine if you're doing on a private airplane or on a small size airplane and you're traveling, I don't know, from one remote location to another, or from a large airport to a remote location, and you're in a small plane. The pilots need to know your weight. Not only that, if it's a relatively, I don't know, larger airplane, say an ATR, fine. But if you're on a smaller airplane than that, the pilot needs to know your weight. Why? Because he needs to do a distribution of weight inside the airplane, because if you don't do it, the tail may strike down the ground, the airplane may do this and not be and damage the airplane, or the airplane may actually have oh Jesus Christ, may actually have problems on trimming. They may not be able to take off properly, and they may go overweight, which means the engine will not have the power to make the airplane go up in the air. There are myriad of issues if you do not check the weight of your airplane and you do not distribute that weight properly. Because, for instance, you can place one fat person back, but you're gonna have to pack everybody else on the front of the airplane. And even then, you're going to have to check. Yeah, we're gonna have to leave this amount of bags behind because the fatso over there wants to go. Simple as that. Right. Jalen Cheney said not people of size, once again, manatees should be given 2 or even 3 seats for the price of 1 if they are too large to fit in a single seat. That's a retarded statement. We're not asking for a special treatment or luxury accommodations. We are simply wanting enough space to travel comfortably without being discriminated against because of our size. Yes, you are actually asking special treatment, you moron! Asking for 2 to 3 seats for free is special treatment, you absolute troglodyte. Has the fat gone on your brain and clogged whatever left of neurons you have in there? It seems that way. Look, aviation is what it is. It's not easy to change because there are still, laws of physics. You still have limitations of smaller airplanes. You have multiple other issues to deal with. In fact, even larger airplanes, you'll still have, weight issues. For instance, if you have, let's assume a fat convention, and you rent an airplane. You cannot go and pack those 38 rows that you saw in this 737 to take all of those people there. You cannot do it because the airplane will be overweight. You have to actually, instead of taking out what generally the 737, assuming all of the seats are economy, 170, 150 people, 180, depending on design and version of airplane. You cannot take that amount of people anymore. You'll have to take what? 120, 110, 100. So the company not only begins losing money, but the airplane can get heavy. If you want to pack all of those people in there, you're probably going to have to take out some cargo. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. You cannot just wish it. I know that you just wish it today and you get a goddamn fucking KFC bucket. Oh god, that's delicious. But you cannot do that on Aviation. So, on that goddamn fucking hell, have a great fucking night.